Tamer, good morning.
Morning, Nour.
Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. I really appreciate your time, given that you're extremely busy and you're an extraordinary leader and transformational leader when it comes to the AI and Microsoft. I'd love you to tell me a little bit about your experience. You've been in the space for over 20 years. So maybe I'll give that floor to you to tell me a little bit about you, your background, a little bit about Microsoft, the journey of Microsoft in AI, given that you guys are veterans in the space today.
Okay. So my name is Tamer Elhamy. I started, it's been like 30 years now experience in IT. I started in a French company called Bull. Then I moved to Oracle. Then now 23 years with Microsoft. This is where I lasted the longest. I have done different countries, different responsibility, and Microsoft has been changing quite frequently, especially the last, let's say, 10, 12 years. And the rate of change in the last 5 years is humongous. So different departments from leading security and modern work to partner channel, coming back to what we call the solution specialists, so looking after our solution area, whether it is Dynamics, Azure, data and AI, business application. And then I moved recently, I would say 7-8 months to look after our ISV ecosystem, which is the independent software vendor or software development companies from, I would say, strategic startup until the globals. So Arabic.AI, we have the pleasure of this year starting to work on a partnership. And I really believe in that, in the value proposition of bringing something which is really local for us. And until the global ones, like if you talk about SAP, ServiceNow, Commvault in security and so on.
Amazing. What makes Microsoft unique that people stick around for so many years?
I think it's the diversity within the company. We have companies inside the company, which means if you look at, not to pick on something, but a small function in the operating system, which is virtualization. There are competitors or sometimes partners like Red Hat, they have their virtualization, VMware, they have their virtualization. So a small function in the operating system becomes a huge, another organization. $300 billion of sales is not a small organization.
For sure.
Well. So if you look at, we have people in the organization, they started as retail, so selling Office and Windows, part of our, what we call OEM, looking at retail outlets, then moving to modern work, going to security, going to business application, going to sales, going to a certain country. And that gives the longevity and the thriveness for an employee to really think about what he wants to or what she wants to do and look the way inside Microsoft.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's quite interesting because you keep evolving.
Correct.
It keeps employees
engaged.
Engaged, absolutely.
On
because
their toes.
They learn all the time something new. So
I think, just to add on one point, I think when Satya came on board and he said, we have to change the culture from know it all to learn it all. Right. So the learning inside Microsoft, the amount of, whether it is LinkedIn learning or internal courses, we have every quarter not less than 18 to 20 hours that you have to finish courses, go into exam, get a certificate.
Amazing. Amazing. That's an encouraging, definitely learning culture, especially in AI. You have to learn something new every day.
100%.
I think being part of this evolution, and you guys started very early on with OpenAI. You've been leading the market when it comes to AI revolution, we would call it. How do you see the market today from readiness, from a customer side when we talk about like data readiness, and then from compute, data centers, electricity, and then eventually we're gonna come to all these complex issues that we see every day that can potentially lead to full adoption.
Yeah. The customer piece is very critical, and obviously it helps in the adoption and so on. I think one of the studies that we have done with one of the famous SIs was, do you have the culture? Do you have the leadership sponsorship and involvement? Do you have the data governance, security, privacy in place? Do you have the ability of your user to learn and keep on learning? And then it comes the infrastructure. So I think IT and cloud and AI, it becomes like one of the main pillar, but
Yes.
it's not the main pillar.
Correct.
So this journey of customers, I didn't see one organization that's A plus in everything. I have seen a lot of organization jumping into, okay, let me do Copilot or ChatGPT, and then, okay, my data is not correct. Let me go fix a model. Okay, my data is not okay, but let me do a model and do some nice demos inside and show the impact. Very few scored an A plus in every single domain. And I think this is where we're coming back to, okay, we've done some proof of concept, we've done some demos, let's go and see how is that prevailing. And even the industry is not very clear about what's going to come in the next 6 months because it's moving so fast.
Correct.
And I think AI is so business related. It's not like when we were into the cloud migration and we're just seeking big compute, big storage, and so on, and reducing the cost. This one has more business entrenched questions. Like, what do I want to really achieve out of this?
Absolutely.
So put all of this in the mixer, and that's why we move 2 steps ahead, and then we go 1 step back, we enhance, we move, and so on. One of the things is like we're moving from human assistant to how it's going to be, yes, human-led, but I would say agent operated. So this workflow inside an organization, this data platform inside organization, the model that you do is of utmost importance.
Correct. You actually touch on something that very important. We see it with customers. So when we go to clients and there is interest in AI, usually it comes from a head of a department.
Yeah.
I believe AI at this stage where we are today, it has to come top down. Needs to be leadership where you have the CEO, CFO, and CTO or head of AI aligning on a vision, wanting to invest. Because you get this question, and I'm sure you have that, what is the ROI
Correct.
on AI? And this is a topic and question probably that's maybe all organizations ask. Maybe we talk a little bit about that. Like, how do you see the investment on AI from ROI impact? Like, how do we explain to customers that you need to be in AI today, because if you're not in AI, you're going to miss a lot and it's going to take so much time. There's a big threat that another organization ahead of you in AI in the same space will be able to offer cheaper, faster, better quality to customers. And then you will have to play catch up. Might be too late for you. Maybe we tackle a little bit this topic, because this is substantial for investment when it comes to AI.
Look, 3 days ago, we had our partner summit, and one of the large organization in the UAE for automotive retail and big households name, they were saying on stage that we looked at how we're selling cars, and we thought, you know what, if we want to get closer to our customer, I'm not going to go to the classical showroom. I'm going to bring my leisure people. I'm going to get my garment store manager. I'm going to bring the best in my retail experience to give it to the person who's going to buy the car. And I'm going to look at the nimble AI solution provider in the market to sit on my huge ERP that I have and give that new user experience on the application mobile, on when you go into the store, when I follow up, when I send a reminder, when I close the deal, when I get my first car, how
across the full chain.
Across the full chain. And then it became this workflow and how agents are working with each other. So I go and ask the question, or I put the task, and then they go to my supply chain, to my inventory, to my user experience, to my CRM. If you don't do this, this is what I call the transformation.
Absolutely.
But if you're just going to go to write a new letter, yes, it's going to add a little bit of productivity gain. But this is the ROI. When we look at science and new materials that people are working on, like in the US, one of the big labs, we're looking at batteries, and lithium ion is very bad for nature in general, and disposing it is very harmful. So one of the things is that you put all the chemistry book inside your machine and try to say, how can I get a new material that it is environment friendly, that I can go and do the best, I can give the best user experience from a battery, longer time, but when I dispose it or when something goes wrong to the battery, it's not harmful for the environment. These are the key things that I'm seeing, that it gets you not only goosebumps, but it gives you back to your daily life, your experience, because seriously, the span of attention of people now, the amount of, maybe small, and the amount of what we call, how do we say that? Distraction, left, right, and center. You come into the office in the morning and say, I'm going to do these 10 things.
Yes.
You barely do 3 that probably they were not on the list of the 10.
Correct.
So this is on a consumer, but it goes the same thing. The CEO goes and there is a competition from this. How am I going to do it? What can help me look at my inventory, my supply chain, my sales, my CRM, and guide me into that process and guide my employees? This is where the big ROI that we're seeing.
Definitely. And I think this is where real innovation is happening.
Correct.
You touched on something that's very innovative, that contributes to the environment eventually.
Correct.
And this is where I see AI as an assistant to human, and it's not the other way. It's not. It's replacing people.
I don't think it would replace.
Exactly.
people.
So, what do you think of that topic? Because this is something we get every single day. You're in the content translation space. You're gonna be left out. But machines been there for. By the way, similar to an Excel. What was launched? What was the argument? Accountants are going to sit at home.
Absolutely. Look at internet when it came, and the marketplaces, big famous names, the e-commerce when it said, all mortgage and mortar will die. It didn't die. It just transformed the user experience.
True.
We're living in the UAE. Look at MOE and Dubai Mall during the weekend.
Absolutely.
So good for them. But what I'm saying is that things change. Look at your children, the way they interact with their mobile, the way they spend online, the way they get influenced.
They're born like swiping the screens now when they're kids.
My daughter, 10 years old, she said, give me the iPad, I'm going to do it for you. I was like, okay.
She's going to build you agents soon.
Exactly. But she's using Copilot on the iPad. So these things will just change it. Some people will be redundant, but some new roles with new, I would say, input and output that will change for you how you're going to get and do your job.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to Microsoft, because Microsoft is definitely a great partner to so many companies, and you work with companies like us and others to enable the company eventually to go to the next level, and at the same time work hand in hand on how do you get more adoption basically on cloud data centers, compute, and what have you. My question is, how do you pick your partners? What do you want from a partner? Like, what are the things that a partner need to have in order to be, let's say, an A category working with Microsoft?
Look, I think one of the most fundamental pillar of Microsoft, and this is one of the things that moving from one company to other, it's how relevant we are for the partner. We really provide a platform. Even our Dynamics application, ERP and CRM, we have partners that they do it for banking.
Yeah.
They build on it a KYC solution or an anti-money laundering solution inside Dynamics or on Azure or leveraging Azure OpenAI services. This is a company that thrives on a partner ecosystem. We have more than 500,000 partners worldwide on what we call the partner program. Sometimes at complexity, but at the same time, the menu of the customer is huge. If you reflect back on getting a floppy disk or a CD, put it on your Windows laptop or not laptop. At that time, it used to be a big tower to install an application. This is what we're trying to do with the marketplace right now. So it's the platform that we avail for partners to build industry solution, even a sub-segment of the industry solution that cater for a customer needs. This is very powerful. So what we're looking for partners, that we don't have too many what we call partner development manager in the region, for example. So if I look at MEA, we have to be very close to a maximum of 60, 70 partners. So although we cater for the hundreds of partners in Middle East and Africa, the few ones that we select to work closely is what is unique that they are providing to the customer. Yeah. How can I take that solution and co-sell with them and scale their solution across the industry? So if somebody has a fantastic solution for imaging in healthcare, I can guide them, I can give them the platform, but I'm not going to scale everywhere. But there are solutions that I would say, you know what, this is going to be needed in 80% of my enterprise accounts that we have in Middle East and Africa. So it's the uniqueness of the solution. How are they leveraging the Microsoft solution when it comes to the platform of Azure, Copilot, data and AI services, security? One thing we didn't talk about it, for example, is these agents that we're building. Yeah. How Entra ID or Active Directory will manage, because that's a new employee. So how are you integrating with the entire Microsoft solution? And then at the end, how are we growing together? You might have the best solution, you might have the best point solution, but we're not able to grow. So it's going to be burden on you, burden on me. So we want to make sure that at the end of the day, if we're doing 10 million, how can we make it 100 million?
Correct. Great. So I want to ask you something about data sovereignty, because probably this is something that comes in so many conversations, especially with customers. And where is the data center, and how secure is it, and what happens to my information? And this morning, I was watching a podcast, not a podcast actually, it was a video from Davos. And Satya was talking about the model sovereignty, the importance of the data that goes into a model, and where is this model sitting. But it's not where is the model sitting, it's which model do you choose that your data is going to it. And for when we talk about sovereignty, it's not about the data center, where is it? It's about the model itself that we allow to have access to our data, and how much data do we contribute to a model. And I think this is a topic that has not been spoken about in public, and it's great that he brought it up to life. It's in line with what we do when we talk to customers about the importance of the model and the data sovereignty. Maybe this is something you can shed some light. You work with so many customers, you work with clients that have extreme sensitive data and they care so much about it. And it's a topic on, when cloud was, remember the cloud, when the cloud was launched, everybody said, no, I don't want to be on cloud. Now everybody is moving to cloud. Correct. We know how secure cloud is. We know the complication of actually managing your own servers versus being on the cloud. And maybe this is a topic that sometimes, as much as we talk about it, it's not given the right light. Yeah. Maybe we can shed a bit of light on it, and you can explain it a little bit to people in simple words.
Simple words is going to be difficult, but let me share with you the experience and some of the examples. And I think this is part of your first question, is like, what do we expect? We don't know. I think this AI keep on changing, and then the criticality of the model becomes more important. But seriously, if I reflect on the past 15 years, when, like you said at the beginning, customers said, no, I'm not going to go to cloud because my IT team will be redundant. I don't know who's going to control my data. We started seeing many organizations that they have a hybrid solution. And when there is an attack, because ransomware is very big as one of the attacks, their on-prem system goes down, their cloud system doesn't go down. And it started to change a little bit, because the amount of solution that we bring on the cloud to secure your environment, Microsoft is taking the burden of patching your environment. We give you alerts, we give you annotation on where the weak link in your environment. We have even something called secure score on cloud that looks at your tenant and your Active Directory setup, your data confidentiality, are you labeling your data or not? You cannot do that on-prem. You will end up by building a humongous data center for you to do all of this on-prem. So I'm not surprised of what Satya is mentioning, because the technology is moving so fast. We started putting what we call confidential compute. We partnered with Intel on chipset that it is much more secure. We partner with Thales and other vendors to bring you an appliance in your data center for key encryption. We have something called containerized AI offline on your data, and we have some telco provider, they are leveraging that because of customer sensitivity data. There is a lot of technology that can help you say, I have control of my data regardless where the data is. Some people, we used to tell you, for example, I go to this telco provider and I put my data there. Okay, because it's in the country, so sovereignty is good, check. Do you know who's accessing your data? Do you have the right privacy there, security there? When there is patching, what access do they have? I think the big hyperscaler managed to get that right. And as I mentioned, the technology is moving so fast that the location of your data is not the most important.
Absolutely. And hyperscalers, let's really be realistic. The amount of investment that's done in the space is in hundreds of billions of dollars.
Correct.
So that's definitely, it guarantees lots of security.
So coming back to your point, yes, your model.
Your
Who
model
will build
matters.
your model? The viability of that model, how long this company will exist.
Correct.
How are you using it on your data? How is it going to refine it? Because this is an ongoing journey, poses a lot of questions.
Absolutely. And maybe I would like to ask the question that everybody now, in the past 5 days, all the media is talking about AI. Is there an AI bubble? Do we feel lots of companies are catching up to their revenue and not revenue, to their valuation? Valuations are extremely high now versus revenue. Why is revenue being delayed, in your opinion? And do you feel we're going to get a correction and then we're going to catch up with the missed revenue? Maybe we talk a bit about this.
I don't know if there is missed revenue. I think the growth, even if I look at my colleagues and friends at other hyperscaler, at other solution during the Partner Summit, I haven't met a single one of our top ISVs. We've met Oracle, which used to be a competitor. Now it's running on Azure, Red Hat. I don't want to name names because I'm going to miss, but Commvault, Dynatrace, everybody's growing and healthy growth. It's not like something that we believe that there is a problematic approach to it, because there is a customer demand, because there are customers like the one I've mentioned. There are customers who are getting it right and trying to branch out, and they're trying to compete because competition is very hard. So I don't think the revenue is the issue. I think some of the issues that kind of chronic is that some organization had to pay a lot of infrastructure cost. And this is where we need to tune a little bit the chip, the processor, the electricity, the funds for infrastructure, building new data center. And probably this one will soften a little bit. I don't think we're going to expect the billions of dollars in the same infrastructure growth because I think revenue is happening. Adoption might be lagging a little bit. And that comes to the question that you've asked. How can I get the unique business case that covers the entire spectrum? And I think when we moved from just Copilot to agent to semi-autonomous, and we're aspiring for autonomous, this is where maybe there will be like a soften kind of growth, and then it will pick up again. Because I truly believe that AI is not an internet bubble, .com bubble. The business criticality versus what the market is going through is very important. The amount of instability we have in the world, I don't know what happened to the world, but the amount of instability without having agents working for you, it's going to be forever running around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the more you expect from human beings, and the more innovation is happening, the more you need to deploy some of these workflows and automations and agents to support in what's going on. I think there is one thing that probably makes people think of an AI bubble, which is the innovation on the AI side is so fast compared to how customers are lagging behind when it comes to data readiness.
True.
Do they have the right strategy in place to do AI or not? Do they have the right budget to invest on infrastructure? And there's an issue of some companies, even large enterprises, think that if they build 2-3 agents, they have an AI business. They don't understand that there is so much that needs to happen
100%.
from infrastructures all the way up to have a proper AI, let's say, execution into the business. It's not an agent or two. And do you see a lot of your partners now moving from just building an agent here and there to thinking of a platform or an enterprise solution from start to finish that solves a problem for a customer and go deep in the space?
Yeah. Not only our partners, we as Microsoft, 2 months ago, we've done an event in Saudi Arabia on how do you get this data platform in place. And Microsoft didn't come on stage and say, I have Fabric and I have SQL and I have OpenAI in my Azure and I have this and I have that. We came on stage with Databricks, with Informatica, with Data IQ, with Confluent, with Snowflake. And we said, Mr. Customer, you invested in these solutions one way or the other. But these are the right components that you have. One of the banks approached us and he said, guys, how do you know that this is my data architecture? I was like, we didn't know that this is your data architecture, but that's the wise thing to do. You need to have governance. You need to have security. You need to have privacy. You need to have MCP governance of integration. You need to have this. You need to have that. Without this, you will not be able to bring your organization from where they are with few agents to where you want to aspire.
Absolutely. So do you see the existing companies that some of the companies you have mentioned, because there are two type of companies now. You have the companies that are trying to build on top of models, like they call them wrappers on top of models and solving a problem in a certain vertical, which is not a problem. That's one type. And there are the existing enterprise businesses that already have revenue, deep integrations with customers that are trying to be more autonomous, having more AI, building more agents on top, where they can drive revenue faster. So investors today, when they invest, so the excitement was, let's invest in the 10 employee companies that build a wrapper on top of an LLM and go to market, and this company suddenly with 100 million values 5-6 billion. Now the narrative is changing, where they see, okay, there's sudden growth and then they plateau or they
dip.
can't, or dip. Some are still doing relatively very well, especially the vibe coding type of platforms. Then you have the enterprises that everybody thought these new companies are going to actually eat their breakfast and these guys are going to be left with nothing. These guys woke up, either they're buying companies or they're building themselves, and they have massive integrations. And probably Microsoft is one of these companies that keep evolving in the space. What do you think of this? If you are an investor, where would you put your dollar today?
On both. You have to hedge your options. Right? Yeah, 100%. I don't think that it's one versus the other. And I see inside our customers the need for both. Sometimes big organizations, they are not nimble enough. The small, they can offer a niche solution. Both of them are needed at our customer. You need to sit on a governance platform before you get these nimble solution. And the example of Entra ID is like, how can I get identity for these digital workers that just you infuse them into your organization? You don't want to have people digitally crawling your data and doing and sharing and sharing information. So both are really needed. I see a lot of acquisition. some of the names that I mentioned.
Do you feel Microsoft can be enabler in the space? Like, do you bring partners together where you see the big,
100%.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we were talking about sovereignty. We're talking about Partner Summit. I'll ask you a question on that. But in the Partner Summit that we had partner from South Africa sitting with Core 42 or G42 to check how the sovereignty piece for Abu Dhabi government and the big critical national infrastructure, they have solution for legal, they have solution for fintech operation. How can I avail that to organization in Middle East and especially in UAE? So this partner to partner is very big. We had the big KPMG, IBM. What are you doing with ServiceNow? What are you doing with SAP? So this partner to partner, and these are big organizations, but also the example of the small niche player in a certain industry that they do it very well and they want to stay independent, but they want to grow their business. And that's the beauty about Microsoft on one of the questions. Like, this P2P is very strong and it's very, I would say it's loved by partner at both sides.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
So we had the pleasure of hosting you. You were on the panel on the MEA Partner Summit. We have, I think, close to 200 people in the ballroom. Give me or share your insights, how your feelings, what do you think, and answer any of the questions that you have asked as well.
So I'll tell you. First, thank you so much for the summit. It's great because I sat with partners on the panel, and post the panel, I got two partners talking to me saying, Arabic is a problem. Every time we want to deploy, this is an issue. We'd love to talk. So first, it was very good to understand what is the space offering, what are others doing, what are some of the companies. We had on the panel somebody that's working on the financial sector, and another person that is really a big system integrator. So these companies usually come in and offer their solutions. I felt this time people were like saying what they're doing, but at the same time where they need help.
Correct.
So
people are more humble in this AI.
Absolutely. I think people realize they can't build everything themselves.
Correct.
And as you said something that's very important, and I see it. I think 2026 is going to be the year of acquisitions, mergers. A lot of companies will merge. A lot of companies, maybe on the model as well, some of the large companies, it makes more sense to see more consolidations. And some of the big partners, they need partners probably like us, where we solve a niche problem in specific place, in specific language. We understand the nuance of the region. And I think the summit you've done is great to bring people like us, especially we're new to the Microsoft ecosystem.
Great.
So we're looking forward to do more.
Same here, 100%.
Absolutely. And I think if you want my opinion on the landscape, on the bubble perspective, I see, I'm like you, I see huge potential. I see AI is just beginning, starting. A lot of adoption is improving from customers. Once you have more data centers, the electricity, as you mentioned earlier. So these are really core issues. We're lucky to be living in a place like the UAE. We have lots of advantage. I think GCC as a market as well, Saudi, Qatar, everybody standout markets. And I think even when you look at it, it's the first time that you look at the region and you say, you know what, I am not very far from the global.
Actually, we're leading in many of the indicators.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's time not to be too humble, and maybe we should actually brag about where we come from and what this region is offering. And the world is going to come. Like, you have OpenAI coming wanting to use these data centers. Basically, they're going to consume a lot of what's available from the get-go, Microsoft and others. So maybe there could be a correction on valuation for some of the companies that are overvalued against revenue.
Yeah.
Some will stick around, some might be acquired. But I don't believe this, as you said, AI is integrated in every work space. It's not an option anymore.
Yeah.
If you're not part of this race, you're missing so much.
Correct.
The minute you give me something that is going to think faster, execute faster, produce faster, why do you think I'm going to stick to doing my old thing? If you ask 90% of people that use ChatGPT or others, do you still write from scratch? Do you still think alone or you think with an assistant. There are key fundamentals, I think, that change in our behavior, irreversible.
True.
So it's just, we're gonna move definitely forward. Tamer, I wanna thank you so much for your time. And before I close, maybe it's just on a personal level. How do you unwind from AI? We live in a world that we are in listening to AI, talking about AI, pitching to clients, attending labs, looking at new things. Technology is overwhelming.
True.
And especially for someone working in Microsoft, you're really at the heart of it. What do you do to unwind?
I listen to music.
Good.
I spend time with my daughters.
Excellent.
I tease them a lot. They tease me a lot. I pray. I think these are, I would say, the top three that
keep you grounded.
It helped me to ground, but also vent out and get this steam out of the engine because the engine is running all the time.
Absolutely.
What about you?
I exercise.
Okay.
And
I exercise as well. Yeah.
I think this is number one. And I keep telling the team, for my own sanity and yours, I need to work out every day. The problem is because, when you're not a startup anymore, you're a scale up and you're evolving more into AI, you just fundraised, you can't really disconnect.
Correct. We're just talking about you that you work 25 hours a day.
I swear I do.
I know. I have seen the WhatsApps.
You got one of the 5 a.m. WhatsApps. My entire team has
God bless them.
May God be with them. So
and God bless you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. This is really amazing.
That was amazing as well.
You're doing an incredible job, and you're a great partners that we're very proud to have.
Let's go to 100 million.
Inshallah. Yes, we're on it.
Excellent.
Soon. Thank you. Thank you.